Hello everyone. Welcome to another exciting Tuesday night Eventide stream. How is everyone doing here this fine evening? I've been doing okay. I've been doing busy. Busy is what I've been doing. The past week has seen a flurry of activity across a variety of fronts for me. I am being pulled in 17 different directions at once. And I'm trying to make sure I keep at least some things moving forward on all fronts. It sometimes can be tough when I've got personal stuff going on, and I've got games going on, and I've got work going on, and I've got Kickstarter fulfillment stuff going on, and boy, and it's warm. Yeah, no, all of it's bad. All of it's bad. So, yeah, I've got a little bit of news to share. I'll probably share that up top. And then after that, I think I'm going to spend this hour doing some development. Sometimes, the one thing that I've realized is really handy with this stream is that sometimes it's just a good excuse for me to get started on a thing. Because sometimes I don't touch a thing. It's too intimidating, it's too big. And just having something to do, something to show off here, helps me move forward. So, we're going to do a little bit of work today on the player's guide. I'm going back to the Word document. And I'm going to work on that because I've got a laid out version, but I don't want to do edits to that because that isn't something that I can relay out. I have to start over. I could try and just alter the layout, but that is very tricky, and it's better, frankly, to just start the layover process again. It's a flowed document. There's not a ton of art, so it's not exactly a hard thing to do. But we're going to do that. So, I said I got little bits of news. Not a lot. This week's been pretty quiet. That said, I have had 2 playtest sessions, which is good because I've been bemoaning missing sessions lately, but I had both of them this past week. So that's really good. I've been super ridiculously swamped. I've actually played 5 sessions of role-playing games in the past 5 days, which I don't think I've done... Boy, probably since, I was running events for the RPGA. Been a bit. But 2 of the games that I ran, or participated in, were Eventide. So both of my groups have played another session of Part 3 of Wolfram's Fate. I am pleased with how this most recent session went. For both groups, because I made some adjustments to the story based on my chat from several weeks ago about some of the problems I was starting to see with Part 3, in that it felt like the story wasn't quite connected. So both groups encounter a barge captain who's, they're just making their journey, right? A big part of Part 3 of this adventure is an overland journey from Wormbone to Red Thistle. And that is slow going. It is a 6-day trek. It is a long way to go, so, by and large, I'm having them experience the journey, which means having multiple encounters per day. Not all combat encounters, but they run into people on the road, they meet people, they help people, they run into monsters, all sorts of stuff. And, one of the encounters is they're making their way along the lake, and they see a barge that has run aground. And originally this was just supposed to be a chance for them to have a skill encounter and learn a bit more about how barges move up and down this waterway, bringing animals from Red Thistle to Wormbone, and bringing finished goods from Wormbone back to Red Thistle. So it wasn't really meant to be much of an encounter, but based on our previous discussion about how it felt like there wasn't an interconnected story here, it was just a bunch of random kind of encounters thrown at the players. The barge is from Red Thistle, so naturally they ask questions about Red Thistle and what's going on there. And that allowed me to have an opportunity to introduce the first threads of the Thunder Company and their menace in Red Thistle, because I'm able to mention that the Thunder Company is already in Red Thistle, and that they accosted this barge captain, trying to question whether or not the goats and livestock she was transporting were legitimately hers, claiming that they were on some sort of duty or mission. this is going to tie in eventually to the main story there about the Thunder Company harassing some of the local farmsteaders and stuff and ranchers, and the PCs get involved in that and embroiled in that. So both groups really locked on to that. Both groups really kind of saw that as it no longer felt like just a random bit of encounter. Both groups were kind of engaged with it. That was nice. Then, you know, there's a fight against... I had both groups fight a Periton. I think I'm going to have Peritons be one of the aerial predators in the region, which I think is kind of fun. Wolf, hawk, stags, you know, seem like something that fits in this region, so I might make Peritons more of a thing. I did enjoy that. It's a nice mythological tie. And both groups also make camp along the shores of the lake. And I've decided to... So one of the things I'm trying to do with this leg of the adventure is add some wonder and mystery and strangeness to the world. I want Wormbone to feel grounded by comparison, but once you get out in the wilderness, there are strange things. There are forgotten places. There are odd occurrences that you can't explain. And one of them is that night when they're camping, they're looking out over the lake, and as the stars start coming out, they have a chance of noticing that there are more stars reflected in the lake than can be seen in the sky. And in fact, it's a lot more. The sky is awash with stars and color at night, whereas for them it's very dark. There are few stars, and they are very dim and distant. Only the major constellations of the deities are visible in the southern hemisphere, or in the south. And otherwise, the sky is kind of dark and foreboding most nights. You know, and not entirely black, but not awash with stars and color. And looking in the lake, that's what they see. So lots of mystery there. They don't really know why that is. And I don't really explain it. It is just a thing. When you look into the reflected waters of this particular lake, it shows a sky filled with stars. Whereas the actual sky is not. So, yeah. And both groups wrapped up with a fun little mephit fight later on the next morning. So some water mephits came to do battle. I guess stamps now. Yeah. It's you know, both groups had a good time. Ooh, sorry. Both groups had a good time and had a fun session, which was good. It was refreshing. I feel like the session previous to that, dealing with the Enclaves and the Dwarven Farmer, I think both groups enjoyed that encounter, but I think both of them just saw it as a complete distraction. And in the final version of the adventure, I'm going to rewrite a bit of that and add some notes to that about how the dwarf had a run-in with the Thunder Company as well. So, there's that. So that's coming along. I'm going to be doing some more writing on that this weekend to prepare for next Thursday's game, but we're about to hit convention season, so I may end up missing a round of games again. Right, we got Gen Con right around the corner. I'm not going, but I do have members in both groups who are. So it wouldn't surprise me if I end up missing a session or two. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully not too bad. In other news, I'm in negotiations with my editor to edit part 2 of Wolfram's Fate. I'm still not 100% ready to hand the manuscript over, but I've started talking to her about it, and we're getting pretty close. Why are you doing that? Weird. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of there's not a lot of news there other than the fact that I've started up talks because I'm getting close. But I still need to wrap it up. It's one of those things where I just need to find the time. I'm hoping to carve out some time this weekend, but frankly, one aspect of my Hope Finder fulfillment is being a bit of a bear, and that's my printer. Because it keeps drinking my ink cartridges, and I keep having to order more, and I'm trying not to order too many, but I keep not having enough. So every time I think I'm done printing, or I'm going to be able to be done printing, I run out of a different cartridge. Really irritating. Yeah. It's a 4-color printer, which is nice. Gives me very high quality prints. But it does require individual ink tanks. So that's a pain. But that said, I'm still hoping that I'm going to be able to get a lot of that stuff done this weekend. Hopefully this weekend won't be as filled with distractions as my previous weekend was. Alright. I think that's all the news I have, really. Sales on part 1 of Wolfen's Fate have leveled off and quieted down. That's not really a surprise. I haven't broken even. I don't even think I haven't sold 100 copies yet? I don't know. I'd have to check. Not too many. I think it's a inkjet. It's a nice Mixum printer. It's very nice. Not it's a Canon. It's a high-end Canon printer. Anyway, so it does borderless printing, which I love. All right, so I'm going to work on this document here. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. Let me go and get this to the size I want it to be. There we go. And there we are. All right. So that's... I'm going to move this over here, but I'm going to move it in front of my camera. Where'd it go? Come back here. There it is. And then I'm going to move... Nope. Move me over here. That's better. Yeah, it just swallows ink. That's been my life for the past few days. Every time I think I'm done, I'm like, okay, cool, I'll print all these copies. And then I get halfway through and it's like, now you're out of cyan. And it was like, I was printing mostly black and white. Oh no, you do everything full 4-color processing, so you were using all 4 colors. Mostly blue. Great. Okay. So here we are. I'm working my way through this document. I was getting to feats the last time we chatted. I'm gonna actually intentionally go through some of the stuff that I went through last time, so that you can see what my next step might be. So one of my notes in here that we did last time was to clean up the flavor and the mechanics. Can you all see this well, or should I blow it up a bit? Maybe I should blow it up a bit. There we go. So, yeah, that's better. Okay. So, let's see here. I am working on this. I have a problem here in that it says whenever you are standing on bare earth or unworked stone, you can draw upon that connection to shake off effects and spells that would control you. Whenever you are standing on earth or stone and are affected by an incapacitating effect, it kind of repeats the same thing over and over again. So let's say you have heard the call deep within your bones, singing from your blood. It beckons you home to return to the deep places of the earth to be with your kin. And frankly, I can probably just cut off this first bit. You can draw upon this yearning. To shake off effects and spells that would control you. Whenever you're standing on earth or stone and are affected by an incapacitating effect that lasts at least 2 rounds, you can reduce the duration by 1 round at the end of each of your turns. Okay, that's cleaner. That certainly doesn't sound as clunky. The call is much stronger underground. If you're ever confused while underground or in a cave or natural shimmer, you spend all of your actions. Yeah, right. All your actions to this call is much stronger underground, and if you are ever confused while underground or in a cave, you spend all of your actions to wander deeper and deeper underground, seeking out your lost kin. Instead of rolling to determine your action. As dwarves with his feet grow old, they even start sleepwalking, making their way to the nearest cavern, heading down to the depths. Oh, sorry about that, folks. Okay. I think that's probably good. That's good enough for what I want to do right now. So let me go down here. I for craft. Currently says you gain the trained proficiency rank in crafting. That seems like non-standard language. Let's see. Oh, I know what I want to look up. Take a peek at this. Actually, it does look like that is standard language. It's terrible, but it looks like it is. You gained the trained proficiency rank in blah. Nope, that is the correct construction. It's clunky, but it is the correct construction. So I feel like what this probably needs is I made a note here talking about how so you gain the trained proficiency rank in crafting. If you would automatically become trained in that skill from your background or class, for example, you instead become trained in a skill of your choice. In addition, you can recall knowledge with crafting to learn about how an object was made. This check can tell you what people made the object based on the technique used, roughly how old it is, and give you an accurate sense of its value. I feel like this maybe needs to give you a craft skill feat. So I'm going to go take a look at what ones are available for crafting and see if one of these makes sense. Got to be a first level one. Quick repair, crafter's appraisal, specialty crafting, maybe. Let me look at the types of specialty crafting. There might be something in here. I mean, I do also give you the bonus that allows you to learn things about it. Maybe this is fine. I don't know. Doesn't quite feel fine. There are other feats that give you like 3 trained skill ranks. Some of the ancestry feats do. So it almost feels like this needs to give you a little something else. Yeah, alchemical crafting is perhaps too good. But I do think saying you get one specialty crafting of your choice works. Let me check here. So... specialty crafting? Beats, crafting... Specialty crafting... Skill feat. For one specialty of your choosing. That feels good enough now. All right, great. That seems good. Okay, let me move on. Let's see. Elves. Did I have anything for elves? I do. So there's a format question here about the Centaur Elf heritage that I don't think I'm going to solve right now because I want to check a few things before I do that. But there was some power discrepancy here that I'm a little worried about. So when looking at this heritage, you gain a +1 circumstance bonus on specific checks made to resist dangers based on the time of year. In spring, this bonus applies to fort saves against poisons. I mean, I could just change this to saving throws against poison, because I'm trying to remember if... let me check a thing. The thing I want to check is to see if there's any... Yeah, so interesting. Okay, the Green Dragon's Breath is poison, but that is also fort. So it's always fort. Alright, so I guess I don't have to worry about that. In fall, it applies against fort saves against disease. So it's spring and fall that I'm worried about. In summer, you get it against hot environments. And on reflex saves against spells and effects that deal fire damage, which is a lot broader than spring and fall. Summer and winter are the best ones. Spring, the bonus applies to fort saves against poison. What else could that give you? Because diseases aren't going to do damage, generally speaking. Like, I was like, I could give a poison resistance in here, but then I don't have a parallelism for diseases. Although I suppose fall could also apply to curses. I don't know why, but that is another affliction that's not really covered by this. Oh, I remember what I was going to do. I just remembered. Okay, so in spring, the bonus applies against... the bonus applies to fort saves against poison. And you gain... resist... Hold on. Let me look at... check a thing here real quick. On the scaling... for a heritage, hold on. So, and you gain poison resistance equal to half your level minimum 1. In summer, it applies against hot environments, and on reflex saves against it. In fall, it applies to fort saves against disease. And you gain negative resistance equal to half your level minimum 1. I think that works. That feels good. I mean, I could make them all against... I could just make them all saves, right? You know, it could just be purely a save thing. So, I mean, I could make spring electricity and fall acid. Why not? Acid is tied to the fall. It is weird that you don't get fire and cold resistance, but that's probably too good. I'm gonna hold on to this right now. I don't think I'm gonna call it done. I'm gonna let myself sit with that. So, I mean, I could do it, right, where it's like, oh, in spring, this bonus applies fort saves against poison, and, you know, against, and on reflex saves against spells and effects that deal electricity damage. Right? Or fort saves against the disease, and on reflex saves against spells and effects that deal acid damage. Right? And just kill the resistance entirely. And finally, in winter, it applies some fort saves made against cold environments, and on reflex saves made against spells and effects that deal cold damage. In fall, it applies to fort saves against disease and reflex saves made against fort saves against build environments and reflex saves made. Suppose it is made against spells and effects that deal acid damage. Yeah, right. I'm gonna hold off on this for now. I think I like this better than giving weird resistance. But this might, I don't know. Yeah. All right. We'll let that sit for a bit. See how it goes. All right. Let me hop down to Goblin here. Oh, I have Gloamling in the middle here. That's right. In this draft, Gloamling is here. There's definitely some Gloamling stuff, so let me go back and hop on that. Bright-Eyed Gloamling has a weirdness in it. Yeah, Tiger, at some point in time, I'll sit down and catalog out a whole bunch of these effects and see where the Cenizar should sit. Right now, at least, it's a note that I need to do it. I'm not going to do that on stream. That is more boring than I'm willing to do. Let's see. So, first thing here is the Bright-Eyed Gloamling. Greater Dark Vision is where this should be going. So Greater Dark Vision allows you to see through magical darkness. I don't, well, so currently this works, it's not as good as Greater Dark Vision. Because Greater Dark Vision just lets you see everything. Even in areas of magical darkness that block dark vision. Because magical darkness isn't actually correct. That's not... The darkness spell is magical darkness, but it's not till the 4th level version that dark vision is effective. You are not blinded in such darkness, but you do take a -4 circumstance penalty on perception checks that rely on sight, and treat all creatures as if they were concealed. That's probably fine. Yeah, I don't actually want to give out Greater Dark Vision, so that's probably good. Okay. Thick-Hide. I think we looked at this one and it was fine. Yes, that's fine. Okay. Close Bond. Nope, not Close Bond. Where was Close Bond? Here it is. So Close Bond is tied to your charisma modifier. And the benefits are whoever you have a close bond with, whenever you're both attacking the same foe, you treat that foe as flat-footed regardless of where you are at. Whenever you make a craft check to create something for a close bond, a medicine check to treat a close bond, or a perform check to entertain a close bond, you gain a +2 circumstance bonus on that check. Bonus does not apply if the check would also benefit or impress others. The real benefit there is the flat-footed thing. And right now, if you got a high charisma, this... So here's the thing. This probably shouldn't be charisma-based. You form a very tight bond. Someone that you trust. You can only have one. Close bond at a time. A close bond can only be broken after spending 1 or more months apart, but you can still decide to maintain the bond even after a long absence. Whenever you and your close bond are attacking the same foe, that foe is considered flat-footed to you, regardless of position. Whenever you make a craft check to create something for your close bond, a medicine check to treat a close bond, or perform check to entertain your close bond, you gain a +2 circumstance bonus on that check. Okay, so I think that turns it into a single target. Question is this still good enough? And I think the answer is yes. It doesn't require anything from the other person, and they get a benefit out of it, which makes it very powerful. It's not like an old teamwork feat, right? We'll leave it at that for now. Alright. What's after Glomling? I didn't make any changes to the rest of these feats. I think I had something infuriating prank. So, let's see here. An infuriating prank, I have a note that says the success condition should probably last to the start of your turn. Success, the target is angered and takes a -1 status penalty on perception checks and on any attack rolls made against anyone other than you. Ah, there it is. One round there is really weird. That should end at the start of your next turn. This one can last. The one above it can take a minute. Target is enraged and takes... Some of that's just unnecessary. The target is enraged and takes a -1 status penalty on perception checks and on any attack roll made against anyone other than you for 1 minute. Alright, that's fine, that's fine. I doubt you all can hear it. But I can hear an ice cream truck somewhere in the background. Probably pretty faint. But I can hear an ice cream truck. Alright. Let's see. Human heritages. We're good on the halfling front, right? Yes. Okay. Don't worry, I'm not going to run off and go get an ice cream. Alright, there's a formatting question on that. And then an Echo Cursed. It says... You and anyone anyone sleeping with you take a -6 status penalty on perception checks while sleeping. Because of all the noise you need to sleep with. So I wanted to check... let's see. sleeping. See what the perception check is. I do like Choco Tacos. Everybody likes Choco Taco. You have to like Choco Taco. It's delicious. All right. So, okay. When you're asleep, when you are unconscious, you take a -4 status penalty to perception checks. This increases it by 2. Is that enough? What's the DC to wake up? A battle is often DC 5. So... Alright. I don't know if they brought Choco Tacos back. I'm not sure. You know somebody's sitting on a case of them in their freezer waiting to sell them at a profit. Alright, so is that accurate? It's clear that I checked this the last time. I'm just trying to decide whether or not sleeping with noise is just a -2, additional -2 enough? Probably. Probably fine. It's already punitive. Nah, it's probably fine. You don't need a lot of noise, you just need some. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so... Next I want to get into skill feats here. Which are down here. Herbal medicine. So, herbal medicine is a skill feat that lets you scrounge up basically materials that allow you to do medicine checks. So what I don't want this to override is, let's see, it's a nature feat, correct? Natural medicine. What does natural medicine do? Natural medicine just says you can use nature instead of medicine to treat wounds. If you're in the wilderness, you might have earlier access to fresh ingredients, allowing you to gain a +2 circumstance bonus on your check to treat wounds using nature, subject to the GM's determination. Okay, so natural medicine allows you to use those skills. This is herbal medicine, which allows you to find herbs. So this allows you to treat wounds. What if herbal medicine allows you to do the other stuff? It's not about immediate. That might make sense. Let me take a look. So, treat disease, treat poison? That might be it. Yeah, I think that's it. And use nature or herbalism lore to treat to treat disease or treat poison. In addition, you can scrounge through the nearby wilderness. Your let's see. In addition, you can scrounge. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think this is about first aid or treating wounds. I don't think this is it. So it just basically, probably spell herbalism right. So basically, it allows you to You know how to find remedies in nature. You can use nature or herbalism lore to treat disease or treat poison. In addition, you can scrounge through... you can... In addition, you can scrounge through a wilderness now. No, wait. Okay, in addition, you can scrounge... through... No, not nature. In addition, you can scrounge the area. Find the right plants and animals to perform medicine without healer's tool. Okay. In addition, you can scrounge the nearby area to find the right plants or animals to perform medicine without healer's tools. You spend 10 minutes looking for materials nearby and attempt a nature or herbalism's lore skill check. The DC for this check is 15 in a forest, swamp, or garden, 20 in a plains or on a farm, 25 in a town or a cave, and 30 in a dungeon or other place with few plants or animals. And that lets you do that stuff. Okay, cool. Perfect. That's great. The other thing I had in here was rural bearing. Untight sentence, and looks like I got an in front of common folk. Alright. You have plenty of experience blending into small isolated communities, talking to locals, engaging in local customs, or otherwise putting folks at ease in rural or small community settings. In their customs, and otherwise putting folks at ease. Yeah, there we go. Yep. All right. All set. That's all good. I like it. Let's see. There are... I'm running out of time here. There's one thing I definitely want to do today, just because I've got a bug in my craw about it. I'm gonna go down to the poultices. Where are they? Come here, you. Okay. Poultices of life can gently heal wounds over time, bolstering the body's ability to heal itself. After applying a poultice, you regain hit points. Alright, after applying a poultice, you regain 1 hit point and continue to heal at the specified rate for the listed duration. You cannot benefit from more than 1 poultice at a time. If you apply a second poultice, the effect of any previous poultice ends. Alright, so all of these should say, this poultice restores 1 hit point when applied, and 1 hit point every 10 minutes for 1 hour. So, every 5 minutes for 2 hours. Every 3 minutes for 2 hours. Come on. 3 minutes for 3 hours. And the last one. And 1 hit point every 2 minutes for 3 hours. There we go. I decided to add the 1 hit point immediately to make these more useful. They're just, they're not quite as useful without that. Oh, hey, look at the time. All right, everybody. Time flies when you're doing development work. I'm going to go ahead and save that. Go ahead and close it on out. Move me back here. Here we are. All right, everybody. Well, that's what we got here for today. I hope you all enjoyed an insight into how development works, which is basically just noodling with sentences, changing things, rewriting things. You do it at home all the time. It's no different when I do it. I just spend a lot more time doing research and making sure my grammar is correct and my language follows standard formatting, and this is much cleaner than my normal work. More, you know, when I'm writing something for a home game and no one gets to see it, I usually just scribble something. It's like, oh yeah, it does this, whatever. Kid bash it in the moment. But for this, gotta get it right. So there we go, folks. Making progress, making movements. I'm hoping to do more. Let's hope I can carve out some time. I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you for all of your support. It really does mean a lot to me. It is the reason this project keeps going. I'm hoping to get you guys the player's guide soon, hopefully, and we'll get that work on part 2 over to the editor. So exciting things are coming. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me here tonight. I'll see you all in a few minutes over on the other stream. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time.